Hi guys and welcome back to a new video. My name is Martina and this is a secret craft room. Today's video is a compilation of all of my ghost videos. There are links to all the original videos in the description box if you want to see product lists and other information about the videos. Please don't forget to subscribe and give my video a thumbs up if you like it. And without further ado, let's get into the video. For the third and final DIY for this video, I made these cute little ghost pics. I started by cutting out little ghost shapes from cardstock paper. You need 2 shapes for each pic. I do recommend using white cardstock for this, but I didn't have any, so I just used what I had. Next, I used hot glue to glue the pieces together with a metal stick in between. You could also use a wooden skewer or something similar for this. Then I cut out ghost shapes from white felt and glued that to the pics as well, 1 for each side. I also added hot glue to the sides of the ghost to make the edges more even. Next, I painted the whole ghost white. You could probably skip this step if you used white cardstock in the beginning. Like I said earlier, I love glitter, so I added Mod Podge to the whole ghost and then sprinkled it with white glitter. Once everything was completely dry, I used black acrylic paint to make his little eyes and mouth. I did this to both sides because I want to be able to flip it if needed to look better in the tree. Then once everything is dry, you're done. Thank you so much for watching. If you liked my video, please give it a thumbs up and consider sharing it and subscribe. That really helps me out a lot. Take care and I'll see you in my next video. Bye! Hi guys, and welcome back to a new video. If you're new here, welcome. My name is Martina and this is my channel, The Holiday Workshop. In this video I will show you how I made this cute little Valentine's ghost. Don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already, and also give my video a thumbs up because it helps me out a lot. And if you want to know how I made this, then just keep on watching. I'm going to use this old sheet for my ghost. I'm also going to use a 15 cm styrofoam ball for his head, these little styrofoam eggs for his hands, and these paper tubes for his legs. I will also add these wooden dowels to the legs for more stability. The first thing I did was to cut down the dowels so they're a little bit longer than the tubes. Then I glued them inside the tubes, making sure that the dowel and the tube are aligned at one side and the dowel is just sticking out on one side. Next I made his little feet. I made a template and cut it out from thick cardboard. I cut out 2 pieces for each foot and then glued them together. Then I glued the legs to the feet. Next I added air dry clay to shape the feet and also to add some weight. I like to add white glue first to make sure the clay sticks well. I let the clay dry overnight and then I attached the legs to the styrofoam ball. I also used a bit of masking tape to help secure them while the glue was setting. Next I added a little piece of dowel between the legs to make it more sturdy. To make his little slippers, I glued black teddy fabric to the front part of his feet. The back part of the feet won't show, so you don't need to cover that. Then I cut away excess fabric. Next I covered the feet with plastic wrap. I used these metal sticks for arms and covered them with masking tape. This is because these sticks will discolor the wet fabric if I don't. I should have used double sticks or thicker ones because these ended up bending when putting the fabric on top. Then I cut them down to size and glued on the styrofoam eggs. Then I attached them to the head using hot glue and masking tape. I also shaped them into the position I wanted. Next I measured the height of the base. Mine is 52 centimeters tall. Then I added a few centimeters to that. I added too much, about 2 or 3 centimeters is enough. Then I folded the fabric in half and cut it at about 60 centimeters. Then I folded the fabric in half the other way and did the same to make a square. Making sure that the fabric is still folded twice so it's a smaller square, I folded it diagonally. Make sure that the raw edges are all together and the folded sides are together. Then I folded it the same way again. Then I cut the side with the raw edges. I realized that I made my square far too big, so I measured 54 centimeters from the top, then I cut it at a slight curve. This will turn the square into a circle when you unfold it. I tried it out to make sure it was the right size. Next I cut away a piece of the egg where he's going to hold the balloon string. This way you can fold the fabric to make a deeper crease to make it look like his hand is really holding the string. Then I mixed together equal parts of water and glue. Then I put the fabric in it and sort of squished it around to make sure every inch was covered with the glue mixture. Then I draped it over the base. This is where I realized that the arms couldn't hold the wet fabric, so I added a wooden dowel using masking tape to hold the arms up until the fabric had dried completely. Once completely dry, I added a couple of eyes using black felt fabric. I made some tiny little ears from black felt fabric. I decided to glue 2 layers of felt together for the ears to make them more sturdy. Then I glued them to the slippers. Next I cut out little circles of white felt and glued it on to make the eyes. I also added these safety eyes to make the pupils and bigger ones to make the noses. Then I added black felt to the bottom of the feet. I made a template for the heart balloon to figure out how big I wanted it to be. Then I made it out of foam clay. I also added a little clay piece to the bottom of the heart to make it look more like a real balloon. Then I put it on a stick to dry, because if you leave it lying on the table it will become flat on one side. Once completely dry, I painted it with red acrylic paints. Then I painted it with a mixture of Mod Podge and glitter and poured more glitter on top of it. Once dry, I sealed it with the same Mod Podge and glitter mixture. Once the heart had dried completely, I cut down a metal stick to the length I wanted. Then I added the stick to the heart. Next I used this aluminum wire to make it look like the string was wrapped around the bottom piece of the balloon. I didn't have any black aluminum wire, so I painted this one black later on. Then I shaped another piece of metal stick and attached it to the ghost like shown. I also secured it with hot glue. Don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already, and give my video a thumbs up if you liked it. And also go and check out the other videos in this playlist. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in my next video. The first thing I did was to make a template for all the different parts. Then I cut them out. Next, I cut out the ghost pieces from this fluffy teddy fabric. I made sure to add a bit of seam allowance around each piece. Then I used this pink disco fabric for the heart. I realized that the fabric for the heart was too see-through, so I cut out 2 pieces of a pink cotton fabric to use inside. Then I sew the heart together, making sure to leave an opening at one side. Then I also sew the arm pieces together. Next I filled the heart with a bit of polyfill, and then I sewed the opening shut with the needle and thread. Then I filled the arms with a little bit of polyfill too. You don't need much for this. Then I used my sewing machine to close the openings on the arms. Then I attached the arms to the right side of one of the body pieces with needles, using the template as a guide. Then I put the other body piece on top of it, right side facing down, and used needles to hold everything in place. Next I sew the pieces together, leaving an opening at the bottom. Then I turned the ghost right side out and filled it with polyfill. Then I used needle and thread to close the opening. Next I cut out the eyes from black felt fabric and glued them to the ghost. Then I glued the heart in place, and I also glued the hands to the heart. I used needles to hold them in place while the glue was setting. Then I removed the needles and the ghost is all done. Make sure to subscribe if you haven't already, and also give my video a thumbs up if you liked it. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in my next video. In today's video I'm going to show you how I created the cutest and spookiest Halloween decoration, a tiny ghost in a jar. Please don't forget to subscribe and give my video a thumbs up if you like it, and if you want to know how I made this little ghost, then just keep on watching. I am going to use this small jar to put my little ghost in. I am using a small styrofoam ball as the head shape for the ghost. Then I shaped a piece of aluminum wire to create sort of a drying rack for the ghost. I made the ghost out of a piece of an old sheet. I first cut out a square and then I folded it several times and cut the edge to shape it into a circle. Then I tried it out over the styrofoam ball, and I also put the jar over it to determine how big the ghost should be. I decided to use a smaller styrofoam ball for the head. Then I kept cutting away fabric until I was happy with the length. Next I mixed equal parts of water and white glue and put the fabric piece in it. Then I carefully squeezed out any excess glue mix and then I draped it over the styrofoam ball. This part is a little bit tricky, but I tried to arrange the wrinkles and folds in the fabric until I was happy with how it looked. Then I let it dry overnight. Next I painted 2 eyes with black acrylic paint. To make it look like the ghost is hovering over the ground, I decided to use this black metal stick to hold it up. I shaped it similar to the aluminum wire, but I made the base much smaller. This doesn't need to be able to stand by itself because I am going to glue it to the bottom of the jar. Then I cut off the metal stick to the length I wanted. I did this several times, trying it out in between. I also cut off the fabric of the ghost to make it smaller. Next I covered the bottom inside the jar with moss using hot glue to glue it down. Then I moved the moss away from the center a little bit so I could glue the metal stick in place. Then I added more moss to cover the base of the metal stick. Then I decided that the ghost was a little bit too clean, so I used water and very watered down black acrylic paint to make it look a little bit dirty at the bottom. Next it was time to make the little mushrooms. I started by making small dots of hot glue on a piece of baking paper. Then I used the same black metal stick again and added glue onto it by carefully putting the stick inside of the glue gun, just a few millimeters. This way there will be glue on all sides of the stick and also a little bit thicker at one end. Before the glue had set, I added one of the little glue dots to it, then I cut off the stick a few centimeters below the mushroom. I did a total of 5 mushrooms. Next I painted the mushrooms. You'll see me try out a few different colors before I finally decided how I wanted them to look. I added red and dark purple to the top of them, and then I made the base light beige, adding a little bit of a darker shade at the bottom. And then I added small white dots to the cap. Once they had dried completely, I added a coat of Mod Podge to all the mushrooms. Next I cut off the metal stick and used hot glue to glue them to the jar. Then I glued this wooden bead to the lid. I also filled in the hole of the bead with hot glue. Then I painted the lid and bead black. I realized that I had forgotten to glue the ghost in place, so that's what I'm doing here. Next I mixed black acrylic paint with baking soda and dabbed it onto the lid to create texture. Once completely dry, I dry brushed the lid with a little bit of silver and copper paint. Lastly, I added some twine around the jar just below the lid. I secured it with hot glue. Please don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already, and also give my video a thumbs up if you liked it. And if you watched this far, please leave a ghost emoji in the comments below. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you in my next video.